Today, the topic of webinar is DC-DC converter and its industrial application. To start with, I would like to tell you the introduction, what exactly is DC to DC converter, what its industrial applications, why it's so important, what's the basic principle of DC to DC converters. I would like to talk about common topologies and their working, that is mostly about industrial application. Then I will just give you a glimpse of major market players in the market. Then typical job roles, if you think of taking DC to DC converters as your career aspects, then how to get into this domain. To start with, if you see the right side, I am showing a small block that is DC to DC converters. It is basically a power electronics, or you can say semiconductor switch, where it converts from fixed DC to variable DC. I hope each and everyone knows about what is DC voltage and what is AC voltage. Let's take one example here. I am just elaborating a simple block diagram with one switch on the right side. So if you see, I have just replaced this with a semiconductor switch. Now, if we fed fixed DC voltage, it can be anything. It can be 5 volt, 10 volt, or anything what you think of. And you want a variable DC voltage at the output. Now, if you have a simple switch here and you just switch on and switch off at your desired time, what's the shape of the output voltage you will be getting here? It's like a pulse. And because when you are switching on this exact fixed DC voltage, you will be getting the same amplitude at the outside. And when you are switching off, it is technically you are basically isolating from input to output. So there is no flow of voltage, no flow of current. So there will be no voltage you will see at the output. So the shape of the output voltage will be like this, because this is on and you are basically chopping. So sometimes this DC to DC converter, also called chopper. How it is variable? So to see the voltage amplitude, you have to take it average here. So definitely output voltage here, it will be lesser than input voltage. In this case, you see that output voltage can be controlled based upon how you are switching your switch, right? It's in your hand of what's the amplitude of DC voltage you need, and accordingly you can switch it. Yeah. So this is you can say either open loop or closed loop control. But in this case, do you think that it's so simple? It's not. If you see this switches, if you connect directly, there is no isolation from input and output. Yeah, there is no regulations. That means you are getting the chopped voltage here output, but there is no regulations. Definitely, you don't like this type of voltage output. So you need some regulation. You need some filters at the output, and that's the reason there are multiple different topologies available so that you can get DC voltage of your desired level at output. So to start with the definition, DC to DC converter, basically it is converting from fixed DC voltage to variable DC voltage here. Using the semiconductor switch, most of the DC to DC converters uses MOSFET. MOSFET is a semiconductor switch. There are other semiconductor switches are also available. You can use it. MOSFET has an added advantage that it can withstand up to 100 or very really higher switching frequencies with less drops losses. Now, one method where you can get a smooth voltage here, you can switch the switch the switching semiconductor at really high frequency. In case of normal SMPS, it goes more than 100 megahertz, sometimes even more. But the disadvantage here will be, like I said, output voltage will have a really high ripple, and the current what you will be getting, that will have certainly bad harmonics. So to filter it out, you need filters at the output or input side. Okay, so to start with, I would like to show you why it is so important and where it is used and what is the applications. DC to DC converters used everywhere. Wherever you see electronic industry, DC to DC converters used. I'll just show you one example of automotive here. If you recall correctly, any communication device or any accessory loads, most of the loads are working on DC voltage, right? You have the source of battery, 12-volt battery, or in case of automotive, will have a high voltage battery. But the loads, what you have, it's 5 12 or 6 volts. So in that case, you need a DC to DC converters to. Similarly, for any microprocessors, microcontrollers, or controlled IC, you need regulated power supplies to power it up. You see everywhere. So in that case, also you need DC to DC converters. And these days, if you see everywhere is LEDs, right? So LED is nothing but light emitting diode. This also work on DC to DC converters. You may be wondering that it is working in households. So in home, we have AC voltage. So we change from AC to DC and then further regulate from DC to DC converter. Yeah. So overall, most of the scenarios, the DC voltage requirement is 5 volt, 6 volt, 10 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt, and so on. So that's the reason DC to DC converter is so important. And according to industrial application, there are various DC to DC topologies are available into the market. I will start with the basic principle of DC to DC converters. Many of you might have knowing that step down DC to DC converters. Here I am showing on the right side a very simple topology. That means you have input DC voltage and output you have a load resistance. Like I have shown you earlier, there is a semiconductor switch here, right? Now you are switching this switch at certain interval at the controlled manner. Let's take when we are switching it on, what we'll be getting, this voltage VD will appear same as the load resistance are here, right? So you will be getting a simple voltage here like this, and when you are switching off, there is no flow of current, so the voltage appearing here will be zero. Ideally it's zero, so you will be getting zero voltage here. So if you see, this is basically again a chopped voltage. Now I am defining in this waveform T on where you are switching on the switch, T off where you are switching off the switch, and total time duration is Ts. Now here we have a new terminology called duty ratio, where duty ratio is equal to T on divided by total duration of one switching cycle. So this output voltage is nothing but this duty ratio multiplied by input voltage VD or DC voltage, right? So let's say if you have 100 voltage here and you want a 50 voltage, simple calculations, you make the uh, duty ratio of 50%. That means you are at the one interval, 50% of the interval you are switching on and 50% interval you are switching off. It's simple calculation, you are getting the output voltage is 50 volt. So it's so simple. But again, I would like to show you the drawback here. Input and output voltage are not isolated here. And again, output voltage is chopped. You have, it's containing a ripple and you don't like this ripple because this will further have a multiple disadvantage. You need to, you know, make some filter arrangement to filter out those ripples. And again, there is no control here. You can make again the closed loop control to have a regulated voltage output, right? So going further, I am showing you one more switching arrangement of step down, or you can say buck converter, where input we are regulating with a capacitor voltage here, with a semiconductor switch that is a MOSFET, with a diode that is called freewheeling diode, output inductor here, and at the output we are adding a capacitor filter to regulate it. So this is a simple first equation, first circuit for a step down or buck converter. In this case also, like I said in the previous slide, duty ratio D will be T on divided by Ts. Ts is the total time duration of one cycle. In this case, output voltage can be controlled with the duty ratio of this switch. LC filter, this LNC filter is needed to smoothing of the output current, and this capacitor is to ripple out the output voltage, right? In this case also, there is no isolation between input and output. I would like to introduce two mode of operation, that is continuous current mode and discontinuous current mode. What is the CCM and DCM? We would like to know. Let me explain. With the same circuit, if you see, when we are switching on this MOSFET, if you see left side, the circuit arrangement will be like this. Okay, so the current will flow like this, and it will go flow through inductor current, inductor. This diode basically because this is also free will diode, it is connected at the this mode. This will be isolated and no current will flow in this direction. So this will be not into the picture when this is on. So the circuit will be like this. The current will be flowing this way and going all the way this way. Now we have to see what is the current, that means through the inductor, and what is to behave. If you see here, when it is on at this cycle, this inductor basically it is getting charged, and when we are switching off, that means this particular part, that input voltage will be electrically disconnected, and because this inductor will have the energy left inside, it will start dissipating the energy, dissipating the current, and circuit will behave like this. In this case, this diode will come into the picture and the circuit path will be. When it is switched off, inductor energy will dissipate and this current will flow like this. So if you see now, because of this L and C arrangement, this current is now having smoothness. It's not exactly having the pulse mode. Now, if you remember, I have told you about current continuous mode and discontinuous current mode. This is basically tell you based upon the inductor size and its characteristic, current is not going to zero. In this case, there is a continuous smooth operation, and this particular mode is called continuous current mode. Let's say you don't need this type of arrangement. You allow inductor current in the off mode, it's going to zero. In that case, it will be discontinuous current mode. There are further advantage and disadvantage of both. When you go and select which mode I want to select for my particular DC to DC converter, there are certain design guidelines. I will talk about this in further slides. Let's move to step up or boost converter. So DC to DC converter is not only stepping down or making buck converter. With circuit arrangements, we can also step up the DC voltage from input to output, and that is called boost converter. Right side, if you see, there is a circuit arrangement of a boost converter where the inductor is coming into the picture at the input side, and this inductor is really high value inductor. Switch, semiconductor switch, that is MOSFET, is coming here, and then it is with the output free will diode. It is, or in this case it's called forward diode. It is connected through output with a capacitor, filter capacitor, to smoothen the DC voltage at output. Like I said, in this magnetics, that inductor plays very important role at electromagnetic energy storage. In this case, the output will be equal to 1 divided by 1 minus D into V in or Vd, where D is the duty ratio. So if you use this formula and calculate, let's say D, if you put duty ratio is 1, so technically the output voltage will be infinite. That is not possible, but accordingly D you have to keep such a way that output voltage what you will be getting, that is more than the input voltage, that is Vd or Vin. Again, in this circuit, like I said, output and inputs are not isolated, and in this case also we can see the mode of operation, that is in current continuous mode and discontinuous current mode. So how it works, let's take when this switch is on. So technically the circuit will flow through this path, because when this switch is on, this is a kind of short circuit, very low ideally zero resistance path. So this part will be isolated and no current will flow. So circuit will behave like this. Vd, it is going to inductor and directly closing the loop with no current or voltage appears across the load side. So this part will be electrically isolated. So with this, what will happen, that this inductance is getting charged and it is started storing energy till it is on. Now it is when it is switched off, what will happen, that this inductor will be the part of rest of the circuit, that means diode and capacitor. Yeah, so the circuit will be like this, and what will happen, that as this inductance is already charged or stored energy, it will also behave as a electrical source. So technically in this case you have two electrical source, Vd and Vl, and total input voltage at this side will be higher than Vd or input volt. Now the inductance current also we see here that it is going charging mode, and when it is switched off it is basically dissipating the energy towards output. Now in this case also you see uh, inductance current is not touching the zero, and hence it is again the continuous current mode. In case the value of inductance or magnetics it is going towards zero, in that case it will be discontinuous current mode. And like I said, both mode of operation have certain advantage and disadvantage while you design the circuit. Let's move on. There is another circuit. It is called buck boost converter, where you can select DC to DC converter where you want to perform, you want to make this perform as a buck converter or boost converter. You can do that. In this case, this output voltage, it is nothing but D divided by 1 minus D into V in, where V in is nothing but Vd, input voltage, and you select the duty ratio accordingly. This circuit may behave as a buck converter or boost converter. Let's move on. I would like to have a little more stress on flyback converter. Basically, this particular converter is widely used across the DC-DC industries, and here I will tell you what are the drawbacks, how it works, and what are the advantage and why it is being widely used. Okay, so to start with, if you see in this topology, there is a used called transformer. So if you recall previous slides, input and outputs are not isolated. Now basically we are isolating inputs and outputs. This transformer, it's also called high frequency switching transformer or sometimes SMPS transformer. It has two advantages. One is that it is providing isolation between input and output. And second is this particular transformer is also working as an inductor and storing energy and playing important role of to flow of energy from an input to output and making a smooth operation. So this particular SMPS transformer is mostly used as a buck converter. That means you are chopping the voltage from input to output. In this case, you also see that input side we have used RCS, RCD, that is called also called RCD snubber. It is used to address the inrush current towards the input side. This is a very good advantage of precise control. Major component in this used as this MOSFET. With some of the filter we can use snubber, this high frequency SMPS transformer with the output diode and the output capacitor with the filter capacitor, and there are some other filters also being used here. I have not shown here.